Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a post-fight show for UFC Fight Night, Gaethje versus Vick. And I'm pretty devastated right now being a proud Texan. Um, oh, man, yeah. This is a post-fight rundown of the main card. And let's get started with this main event of ours that just wrapped up. In the lightweight division, the main event, we had Justin Gaethje, former World Series of Fighting lightweight champion of the world, going up against Ultimate Fighter alumni and longtime UFC veteran James Vick. I thought James Vick was going to win this by knockout in the first or second round, maybe the third. And there was two fights I got wrong on the main card. This was one of them. Anyhow, James Vick got lost by a KO punch in the first round, a minute and 27 seconds. Was not expecting that. Wow. I mean, I was picturing, this could turn into the Beneil Dariush fight again for James Vick, but I thought, maybe, things changed since then, and then also that, Justin Gaethje being different stylistically, I thought that would work in the favor of James Vick. Obviously, that wasn't the case. Justin Gaethje needed this big win. Now he's 2-2 in the UFC, and he just beat a top 10 guy going in at number 7 ranked going this fight, Justin, that is. And Justin Gaethje is basically in title contention right now. He's in basically with this win, he's in the top 6 of the lightweight division. So don't give him a title shot right now, but give him 1 or 2 more wins, and then I think he could fight for the belt. But he said he wanted Tony Ferguson next. I think that's a little too much too soon for him. However, this was a fun fight and big win for Justin Gaethje. Then in the co-main event in the featherweight division, we had Michael Johnson versus Andre Fili. This was a split decision win for Michael Johnson, and I think the judges got this one right because Johnson outlanded Andre Fili based on the stats they were showing. And I think this could have been easily a unanimous decision for Michael Johnson. At least 2 rounds to 1. There might have been 1 round where Andre Fili had the better of Michael Johnson. But this went back and forth on strikes, and then there was some dominant positions on both sides. So it was a tough fight to score. Depending on, if you're going off strikes, it's easy to score. If you're going off positions and dominant positions, then it gets a little trickier. Andre Fili did have some good submission attempts in this fight, but again, Michael Johnson outlanded more, and it's like what I always say, if you outland your opponent, then that's what should win the judges' scorecards. Excuse, there's a cricket in here. Anyhow, in the women's strawweight division, we had Courtney Casey versus Angela Overkill Hill, former Invicta FC strawweight champion. And I knew Courtney Casey would squeak out a win here with her takedown. I think that's what won her this fight. I mean, in my pre-fight show, I said she would get 1 or 2, maybe 3 takedowns. She got a takedown in this fight. Angela Hill did go for a good submission attempt after being taken down, but Courtney Casey just slightly outlanded Angela Hill on at least the first 2 rounds. So I think overall the right person won this fight, and Courtney Casey gets a split decision win, this time going in her favor. Then in the welterweight division, we had Brian Barberena versus Jake Ellenberger. And like I said on my pre-fight show, I wanted Jake Ellenberger to just retire at this point. He had nothing left to prove. He's fought some big names. He's main evented some UFC cards. He's been able to fight in his home state. What more can you ask for? And I just want to, props to Jake Ellenberger on a great UFC career and great, overall MMA career. He's fought in other great promotions over his career. So props to him and the Ellenberger family and his training camp and his training staff, and yeah, just everyone around him that supported him. I wish all you guys the best. I've met Joe, his brother. He's awesome. Yeah. So, anyways, Brian Barberena won this fight. TKO punches round 1 is pretty much like I said on my pre-fight show, mid to late in the first round, and sure enough, it was roughly midway into the first round. Brian Barberena wins TKO punches round 1. Then in the flyweight division, we had Dvason Figueroa going up against John Moraga. I hope I didn't mess up that name too much. Anyways, TKO body shot and punches round 2 win for Figueroa, and it was an impressive win. Definitely, he's up there in the title mix now. John Moraga is ranked in the top 10, and Figueroa was ranked in top 15. Definitely, with this win, he goes in the top 10 and definitely is in the title mix. Maybe 1 or 2 more big wins and he fights for the belt as far as I'm concerned. Beating John Moraga the way he did was very impressive. It's the biggest win of his career. He's still undefeated, and this is, yeah, again, the biggest win of his career. So it's definitely something to mention on his resume. Yeah, TKO body shot and punches round 2 win. There was some back and forth in the first round though, so it's not like John Moraga just went in there and died. I mean, he put up a great fight. So props to John Moraga in this fight. Then to kick off the main card in the middleweight division, we had Eric Anders versus Tim Williams. It was KO head kick round 3 with just less than a minute left in the fight. Initially, I thought it was illegal kick. He was a down opponent, but then when they showed the replay, it showed that it wasn't illegal kick. Tim Williams just barely had his hands up when he got the head kick landed on him. But I mean, Eric Anders was winning this fight anyways. He would have won a decision had it that not happened. So yeah, it was a big win for Eric Anders, and I can't wait to see how the rest of his career plans out. He made it look easy, but Tim Williams is a tough, durable MMA veteran, and Eric Anders, yeah, he lost to Machida, but I think he learned from that loss, and I think he's basically just moving forward at this point with his career and seeing where he can go. It's going to be pretty exciting. Yeah, that middleweight division, I mean, you got Kelvin Gastelum fighting for the belt next, and then there's some other great contenders that if they have a win or two, they're definitely in that title talk too. So Robert Whittaker definitely has his hands full, and if Robert Whittaker can plow through a handful more of these contenders, maybe he's one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Anyways, yeah, that wraps up my post-fight show. Stay tuned in the coming days or week or so for my pre-fight show for UFC 228, Woodley versus Till for the welterweight UFC title, and then Shevchenko versus Montano for the UFC Women's Flyweight Championship of the World. And as always, until then, see ya.